Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Hearts of Iron 4 here today on the channel. We're back on the road to 56 mod. We're going to be playing as India here today. Well, that's the path we're going to be going down. Technically, we're going to be playing as the British Raj. So, if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like, subscribe if you're new around here with notifications on, let me know in the comments feedback and suggestions for the series, and where you'd like me to expand and conquer. Feel free to leave a dislike if you want. That's what the button is there for. If you want to support the channel, there are options in the description below. Patreon and becoming a channel member would be much appreciated, but obviously not required. So let's get stuck into the British Raj series. So we have 11 divisions, 99 battalions. So I haven't played as India before. We have a population of 5 million, which is a hell of a lot, but our tech-wise, our military, our economy is quite poor. So India is going to be a difficult series for us here today. So the main objective of this series is to essentially form a free and independent India and a united Asian front. I think we're going to push westward rather than east for now. I think going after Afghanistan, pushing into the Middle East, maybe even Turkey. Once we sort of border with the Soviet Union, we might be able to swing around up through the Caucasus, and by the time we're strong enough, we might be able to contend with the Chinese. We're going to be going down, we're going to be allying ourselves with Germany and the Axis forces. So things are going to be a little bit difficult because we technically start off allied with the British, and we are currently non-aligned. So things are going to be a little bit difficult. Looking at India itself, we do have a lot of fantastic resources just normally. A lot of steel, a lot of aluminium and chromium to start things off. The majority of our oil reserves are actually going to be founded in Iraq, Iran and Afghanistan and whatnot. So that's where we're going to be able to field our light tanks. But it's going to be a little bit difficult because the focus tree is really good for India. However, we start off non-aligned, which is hard, and we have democratic tendencies, but the only way we really can sort of break away from the Allies is we have to have a civil war. So we're going to probably have to cheese that depending if we want to sort of go our way. Now, what you can do to cheese civil wars is build up your army, disband it completely as you launch the civil war, and then redeploy it. And that's probably what we're going to have to do. Also, India throughout Hearts of Iron 4, they do have political events. Because we've got Bengal, of course we've got Pakistan, and we've got a lot of other ethnic minorities under our control. They seem to rebel quite often. So this is going to be a harder series than the Brazilian one initially. But once we get things rolling, we should be able to dominate the Middle East and Asia. So we've got a couple of options here. I think going down the Germany route is best. I potentially could align with the Comintern, but I think I want to conquer them eventually. So allying with the Germans for now, then eventually breaking away from them, making sort of a Indian united Asian front. Asia should be ruled by the Asians. We should throw out the Europeans and their influence over these lands. That's what I'm thinking. Go full on Asian. Right, so let's rally up with 11 divisions there. We've got a fair few battalions. And once we sort of move away, because I think like our faction leader now is Lord Wellington. So we'll eventually get away from the sort of Indian nobility there. We're playing on Road to 56. I'll put the mods I'm using in the description below. So I think pushing towards Afghanistan is probably the play. We're going to have to watch out for these countries to the west of us, whether or not they get guaranteed by certain Western powers, because they still want to try and hold their own colonial influence, especially over Egypt with British. Okay, so looking at our occupied territories here, we're going to have to go and probably go to martial law, because as you can see here, for some reason we have parts of Yemen and stuff. That's so weird. Why do we have that? There's a lot of countries under our control. So we've only got 2 military factories, very few civilian, and yeah, Lord Wellington is currently our faction leader. We will soon change that. We don't even have a navy, nor a formidable air force, which we need to change. So we are currently still a part of the Allies, so I think the best way to get around that is have a civil war. But we need to start going down collective ethos, getting our political power up. We want to be aggressive, we want to be tenacious, so we're going to go and ally ourselves with the Germans this time around. I think pushing westward will be easier, because logistically we're going to be able to get a lot better quality resources, and it's going to be a lot easier to fight in the west rather than the east. Fighting in China can be an absolute nightmare, and also as we go closer we do contend with the Japanese sphere of influence who want those lands for themselves. So let's just allow the Chinese and the Japanese to battle it out, and we'll try and swoop in there at the last minute and push over the Indian border. Okay, so we can bring in a political advisor now. Let's go with a demagogue probably first up. A silent workhorse is also good, along with political bonuses. Civilian factory, still very limited trade and manpower-wise. But the thing is with India, we've got fantastic population, we've got decent resources. We just need to secure the oil fields in the west so we can get better quality planes, light tanks that we're going for. And we'll always be slightly behind for quite some time, playing as a lower to minor tier faction. A new Governor General. So Lord Wellington has retired there. And, oh yes, we got this Lord, Linlithgow. Okay, so he's been now brought in. Another Lord, will change that eventually as well. We're still non-aligned technically. Slowly but surely, fascism is on the rise, and we probably can go with limited conscription now. We might be better off going with silent workhorse. We're going with militarization and national focus as well, because we want to go down the Free India route. I'd rather just call it Free India this year. He's playing as India, even though we technically start off as the British Raj. Yes. What? Can you stop that, please? I need to turn that off. That is so annoying. Finally, turn that stuff off. I should have done it a long time ago. It's just those default annoying settings that pop up. Right. Silent workhorse is more than likely to play, because we still need a lot of political machination. We're going to be moving our planes to the Pakistan border here. It's August 1936, and we're slowly but surely opening the discourse up in India. But because we're non-aligned, so that's difficult in itself, being neutral, but we're already in the Allies, so breaking away from that is going to be easier said than done. We have to cause a civil war to be on the other side, I think, and then we need to quickly wrap up the civil war as quickly as possible. I think that's the play for this series, just to break off as quick as we can. Invite German investors. 100% research bonus for industry. Because we can invite the Americans as well. We can't go down any of this just yet because we're blocked off. That's fine. Yeah, maybe Indian general staff. Let's get some proper Indian officers. Philosophy. Take our time with them. We can develop plans quickly because we're probably actually going to be going to war with Afghanistan quite soon. You never know. Threat of communism, so that's now on the rise as we're opening up the political discussion. That's fine. We can expand civic support, or we can prepare for a civil war. Press censorship and stuff. What else have we got here? We haven't got too many debuffs compared to the Brazilians, which we have to sort of root out. We're 50% now, so Chinese-Soviet War's going on. Yeah, so we haven't got those really crazy debuffs, which is great. So we should be able to cause a civil war. I don't think it would be very successful in the Brazilian campaign if we did go and do that. Let's go with, yeah, capital of industry. Getting those buffs rolling in. So the Spanish Civil War's now erupted. And there's actually a war down here in Vietnam has declared their independence against the French. Wow, so that war's now broken out. We're not playing historical focuses either. And we're using like Chaos AI and whatnot, so sometimes the series can be a bit whack. Hopefully it's not as much as in the Brazilian one. So we're going to actually start this civil war now. I've disbanded my forces. I mentioned this briefly before, so this is the play. So what we'll do, we'll prepare for a civil war now. So this is how you allow not to allow your civil war enemies to get half your army. So what you do is you disband the army, even though you do lose like quality units, but they weren't even that well anyway. So we'll wait for them to be deployed, and then we'll open up the civil war, and hopefully we can get it done quickly. Okay, just waiting for it to erupt now. Yeah, so here we go. So we can ignite the civil war now. So here we go. So we are now technically free India, and the British Raj has had a civil war. So it's a bit of a cheesy tactic, but to be perfectly honest, I'm fine with it. If it's in the game, I'm going to use it. I don't think there'd be any way around it, unless I bought the... I think technically there's a harder way in the Commonwealth DLC, which I don't actually own. Because honestly, in my opinion, only certain DLC is worth it. And most of the stuff you want is unique focus trees. And you get that for free in mods and stuff, so there's no point of paying for some of the DLC. That's my opinion on some Paradox stuff. But you do miss key features, I understand, but so be it. I prefer buying Total War content packs. They're more value for money in my opinion. Okay, so let's move down here. And we should be able to go against the British Raj now. So basically what they did is, so normally if I ignited the civil war with my armies up, I would... half the army would be on their side. So basically both sides don't have an army. We've quickly deployed it. They're not going to have the organization, but if we can quickly take the key capture points, we'll be fine. Let's hope no one gets called in. Okay, well we have 4 against their 0. Let's push into Bombay where we can. Now, we're going to have to click on them manually because they just don't have the organization nor the supply. We just need to be quick. We need to be Johnny on the spot. We need to be... I don't know. What's an Indian name? I can't even think of one. We need to be Raj on the spot. I don't know. Modi on the spot? I don't know. Okay, so we're still building up our industry and construction where we can. Okay, so now they've actually brought in an army and a second one there. We're just not quick enough. If we were, it could have been better. So, hopefully this doesn't bite us back too much. So, Bangalore, Bombay. Oh, okay. So, fortunately enough for me, the Indian Civil War is isolated between the Northern Free India and the British Raj. Now, the British are actually moving military forces in there. They're probably eating up their logistics more so than anything. Oh, they're actually swarming troops into India now. Mexican junta is having a civil war. We might have a look at that later, but we need to focus on this. Yeah, so that's not... What is that? Okay, so that could work. As we could maybe bring them into... Like, I'm going to go and join the Germans early on. Because it's a viable strategy. Use them until we don't need them. Then we can just leave and create our own Eastern Bloc. I think that's the play. Essentially make an intermarium sort of Mesmor's East Asia. That's the plan. Okay, so they've got more units towards the north here. Let's try and swing that around. Let's try and bring down as many of them as possible. So you swing this way and cut them off. So we should be able to... okay, so they nearly capitulated here. They actually have more than us now. We've lost a K, which is fine. We just need a couple more pieces of territory in the peninsula, and then we're laughing. It won't even take us too long to repair from this civil war anyway. We could have done a bit of a challenge, but maybe the Allied forces would have stayed with them. Hey, there we go, free India. The British Raj has capitulated. We got those arms back. We did lose a couple of units in the process, but we'll be fine. We'll eventually get that back. So now we are free India. We have bypassed the Allies, and now we are free to join the Axis if we want. So we'll replenish, we'll repair, we'll rebuild. India is free and independent. Ah, guten Tag, mein Freund. Via India. We will join you. Okay, and we can probably go down mobile warfare doctrine now. We can go a bit more military. Fantastic. Okay, so yeah, we've still got civil unrest. Rebuild the nation. That's not too bad. Organize the youth. Good, good, good. Yeah, so now we can actually go down the path of militarism. We're slowly but surely mustering forces on the board here, but I don't know why I have Yeah, why do I have Eden there? Why do I occupy part of Yemen? That's so weird. Did they ever have that, the British Raj? No. Maybe. Yeah, so if we go... Where is it? Yeah, so is there more territory that I just... That's so weird. Yeah, we've got a piece in Saudi Arabia or something. Okay. We've still got Bangladesh on the far right and Pakistan and stuff. Okay. Anyway, we're going to push towards the Afghani border now. We'll sort of build that up. We've actually got an air base there. We could actually maybe hit Omar or Yemen. We could even hit the Saudis from the south there. Logistics might be a tad bit tough though. Okay, so do we have enough to go against them? I think so. Maybe we should push into Kabul. 6 units, looking at the balance of power. 4th of July, 1937. Let's go to war with Afghanistan, because I've only got a couple units on the border here. We have a couple of fighters operating over the top. And the thing is, with the border here, there's actually only 2 tiles that they can push from in the north, while in the south, there's a lot more. So we'll try and push in the south. We'll try and take Kabul as quickly as possible. Afghanistan, not the most valuable territory. Japan and China have erupted now, but they do have a decent population. I think I've got a couple of resources there. So we've got our first war here now. We're going to be pushing against the Afghani. We should be able to take Kabul and slowly but surely build up a larger and stronger India. So Japan's actually going up against the Chinese now. So even if we were to go in there, we'd probably run into them. So we're doing quite well. If we can push for Kabul here. Yes, keep going, keep going. We might be able to capitulate them, because they're trying to flank us. It doesn't matter if we can take their capital. So they've moved their capital westward. Czechoslovakia border being cut off there. That's alright, we can connect that up. Come on, just a little bit longer. What are they at now? Yeah, they're nearly done. They've lost 4k. They've lost hardly any. Yep, come on. That should be it. Yep, she's all over Red Rover. Phew! Things got a little bit hairy towards Herat, but Kabul is under our control. We're going to core the territory straight up for India. So now that opens up a huge border with Iran. There's a lot more oil in there compared to Afghanistan. So this is where we're going to be able to... okay. So they actually united quite well, the Chinese United Front. Sometimes they don't do that, which is interesting. So it will push to the Iranian border now as well. Okay, so I've got 9 units. Japan want a non-aggression pact. Not for now. That's fine. Yeah, so they actually border us there towards Tibet and stuff. Look, we'll let them battle it out. We might have to go... We'll just see how it goes. You never know. Japan might conquer them. We might have to liberate the Chinese, or vice versa. Or they usually, from what I see, they usually hold on. We'll negotiate with the Germans here, and we'll join the Axis, because they might act as a deterrent as we're pushing westward now. You'd think France and Britain would have opposition to our invasion westward. We're still going down militarism where we can, but now we're in the Axis. Okay, we've got 12 units on the Iranian border. Let's push against them. They are currently non-aligned. So our third war's about to break out, and we're about to secure the ancient kingdom of Persia. Alright, let's unpause. Let's get stuck into them. Manpower-wise, we've got 6 million or so. Austria has just been unschlutzed. Hopefully Germany this time around is a lot more dominant than in the Brazilian campaign. If you haven't gone and watched that, I highly recommend you do. I do want to do more Hearts of Iron 4 on the channel, so this series will end in the not-too-soon future. So let me know feedback and suggestions what you'd like me to replace with. We're about to surround the Persian cavalry here, which is fantastic. But I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, Austria might be quite cool. Romania. Maybe Mexico. Let me know. So, militarily, we're probably going to outperform the fall of Vladivostok. Really? Ah, the Japanese are pushing into the Soviet sphere of influence. Okay. So, they've somehow dummied a lot of their cavalry forces here, but they're actually holding further back to Tehran. Czechoslovakia is still doing its thing. Yeah, so once we secure the oil fields here, we're going to be able to quickly, we've overrun them. We'll be able to quickly put it into our air force and light tank production. Navy is probably going to be a thing that we're probably not going to rely on much of this series. But the Germans have sent a division to come and help us out. Fantastic. Welcome. Here we go. Indian Civil War. We cannot let them break away. It's not worth fighting over. It's typical that I'm in a war for this. Yeah, because Pakistan, also Bengal and stuff. Soviet Yemen. Well, we're in a war, so I can't really afford to drag my forces away. Look, we'll dictate this civil war on our terms. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it does. India is one of these factions that has a lot of RNG of civil wars and stuff, and especially seeing as we've just ignited one earlier on. Look, I'm going to say it's not worth fighting. I'm going to release Pakistan for now, and the Soviet state of Yemen becomes owner and control of Eden. Yeah, that's fine. I didn't even want that Yemen territory, but the Pakistan one's infuriating because I'm going to have crazy border gore there. So, yeah, look at this. They basically cut us off there. So we'll finish off this war, and then we'll go and submit Pakistan. So Bengal actually went to them, so they could very well leave. But maybe the Soviets are doing stuff down here. That's crazy that they're in the Comintern. You might have to go to war with them at some point. Still slowly but surely pushing against the Iranians. Oh, yeah, so Germany's at war. Oh, no. Burma secedes, though, but Germany's at war with the Allies in 1938. Italy joins the Axis, and it looks like World War II, the global conflict, has just erupted. Hopefully the Allies don't get called in, that we're sort of just building up our quiet sphere of influence. Let's get this conscript law going. We should be able to take their capital in a moment. Yeah, they've been cut off. We seem to be more successful in the bottom west of the country rather than the top there. Yeah, just like try and connect up there, just get that supply in. Cut that off. Yeah, go for their new capital. Maybe fall back to hold Tehran because we don't want to lose. Yeah, so you should be able to get that. They should capitulate on that. We're holding them there towards the east. Yep, that should be it. Yay! 25k fuel. That's what I'm talking about. So no one got called in, and we can conquer the entire country for ourselves. So there's 20 oil there. So overall, we had about 10 to 20 on all our resources, bar oil. And now we don't have to focus on securing and building refineries and whatnot, which is fantastic. Even Iran's like a really cool and unique faction, just to where you push. And same with Iraq as well. So I don't think I've ever done a series sort of fighting this hard in the Middle East, but we're basically going to double time back and make sure that Pakistan gets eliminated. So we'll form up. I'm too worried about the Bengali border. Okay, so we're going to go down with German investors. So hopefully we can get some German tanks and equipment where we can. So we haven't been called into the Allied war just yet, and I'm not going to join. I'm just going to do my own thing. Look, if we need to, I'll fight it, but to be honest, I don't particularly want to be drawn in just yet. Oh, they're actually fighting. Okay. Oh, no. Germany, you're in such a bad position. So the Italians seem to be drawing on that border. They're fighting the French, trying to push over the Maginot Line, and the Czechoslovakia is in the heart of their kingdom. Even though they Anschluss Austria, they have not been successful in securing Czechoslovakia. Ugh! I think Germany in this playthrough is probably going to get got. The French are still dealing with that Vietnam Civil War, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, let's get stuck into the Pakistanis. Okay, so I've made the decision to send some troops over to the Bengal border. It's not worth the risk not doing it. So Let's claim for Punjab, and let's try and eliminate our second civil war. Okay, she's all off and running now. Are we coming up with any real contention? No, because they just sort of seceded. Do they even have any troops? Push for their capital as quick as you can to get rid of this disgusting border gore. Mate, where are your armies, mate? We'll bring some more German industry. Yeah, that's so weird. I do know that it's a potential thing, especially when you have civil wars. You do have a tendency for others. Just India's in a unique spot because they've got so many ethnic underlings sort of under them that all want to sort of secede. Because a united India, historically and sort of recently, is a modern sort of thing. Push for Karachi here. So we have 12 forces, 12 divisions in 1, and 13. So we have 15 units in operation, and we've managed to take out Pakistan and bring it back under the Free Indian sphere of influence. But it makes me a little bit cranky to see that the Germans aren't living up to their end of the fascist bargain, I guess. But this is what we currently control as India. Okay, guys, well, unfortunately on that note, it is time to end episode 1 of the Hearts of Ironfall Road to 56 Modded India Let's Play. We've done a tremendous job in this first episode, building up and securing us for the campaign. It is April 1938. World War II has erupted between the Axis and the Allies, and we've managed to finesse those civil wars, because sometimes they can be a little bit tricky. They sometimes take a couple of times, because if you want to go down this path that I'm going, sometimes you can get RNG'd out of it. We were really fortunate for the British not to come in and guarantee them, along with the conquering countries that we took out as well. So let me know in the comments, feedback and suggestions for the series. I think continuing to push westward is the play. We'll eventually go east against China, but we'll just let the Japanese and then battle it out. I think once we've basically united the Middle East under India, we should be able, depending on the time period, like if we can declare war on the Soviets, maybe like before 1939 or 1940, we might be able to take it, just through sheer numbers, because a united India is probably going to outpop the Soviets. Equipment-wise, we're probably on par, because we're fighting with old British colonial equipment from out India and the Middle East. And we should be able to have some artillery and light tanks and maybe some motorized as well. We'll just have to see. But thank you very much for watching. Support this series. I do want to do more Hoi 4 content on the channel, along with Total War campaigns. So stay tuned for more videos and content on Simpzy Total War throughout 2020. Still going to be uploading daily and as often as I can. Unfortunately, guys, it is time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comment section down below your feedback for the series, and if you'd like to see more, that's the best way to ensure more content. Leave a dislike if you're not enjoying the series. Check out my social media links if you want to stay connected with me. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all in the description below. Patreon and merchandise link in the description below, along with the Steam group. Come and join the community on Steam. And on that note, unfortunately, I have to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching once again. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Go out and have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simpzy. Goodbye.